open the floor before we do our closing prayer and move on to the AGM. So the discussion points are, I know that Reverend Thandi gave some amazing examples and story, Bishop Mike, same, about stories of faith in times of crisis and from history and from the Bible. If there are any questions or comments, you're also very welcome to share them. I just ask, please, that everyone keep their comments very brief, 1 minute, 2 minute max, just to respect the time. And then also, one thing that was mentioned a few times by our speakers was the way forward. And how are we going to reimagine the future? How are we going to build a new normal, something that is more just and healthier, both for our souls and our society and our physical selves? So those are just some guiding thoughts. And again, I think it's very important also to recognize that we are in the 16 days of activism period in South Africa right now. And this is also a time for us to remember the ongoing crisis of violence against our vulnerable groups here in South Africa, of women, of children, of anyone in vulnerable violent situations. So I just want us to carry all of those friends in our thoughts and our ideas as we move forward. So friends, the floor is now open. If you would like to share, if I can ask please for you to raise your hand, and then I will see your hand raised. And then I will invite you to share. I've also asked Mama Ila to share some thoughts as we close the discussion as well. So friends, the floor is now open. And sorry, if you do not know how to raise your hand, you can just unmute yourself and you can just share as well. Okay, thank you, friends. I think everybody's just so inspired that they're speechless. I'm going to ask now our dear Mama Ila to share some closing remarks. Mama Ila, over to you.
Thanks, Haley. I think organizing this extremely valuable to lecture was really mainly your initiative, and thank you so much for doing this. I think there was a lot of information that we gathered today, and also solidarity and inspiration from the speakers to continue during this time of crisis. I think all of us, I know in my family already we've experienced a crisis. And I think almost every family in South Africa has had some kind of crisis during this time. And to be able to overcome this crisis, some of the most important points that were raised here, firstly, to have faith in God, to have strength, to look forward, to look at how we can create a new normal. What are some of the requirements that we need to look at? What are some of the evils of the past that we need to discard? These are some of the thoughts that speakers have left with us. And I think that they are important because we have been, during this time of crisis and prior to the crisis, we have seen some of the escalation of violence, some of the escalation of corruption, all kinds of evil that has been popping up in our society. How do we overcome that? And that is the question that we need to ask. How do we overcome anger and despair that we feel? So, looking at some of the offerings that have been made by people this morning, one of the key issues is love. That it is with love that we can change people. That it is with love that we can change our environment. And then the second is compassion, that it's compassion that we need to have, to look at not just our own grief and our own anxieties, but also other people's, and how we can help. And the third point I think that is of importance is how to do our work without harming the dignity of the other. In fact, raising the dignity of the other. So I want to leave you with those 3 points: love, compassion, and making sure that we do not harm the dignity of the other. Thank you so much, Haley. Thank you for this organizing and working so hard to make the all those commitments of Religions for Peace alive and working in our country. Thank you, Haley, and thank you to everybody else for participating and joining us in this work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mama Ila. So as we move forward, we can maybe close with that idea of how do we raise up others, and also remember that we are a part of each other, like the concept of Ubuntu that Reverend Thandi talked about. If we see ourselves as part of each other, then it becomes natural that we want to lift ourselves up. So thank you so much, Mama Ila, for those thoughts. I would now like to close with a few announcements. Dear friends, we'd like to invite everyone to follow Religions for Peace South Africa on Facebook and Instagram. And we just started a YouTube channel. I'll post this, this presentation there as well. And dear friends, if you are hosting interfaith events anywhere in South Africa, please let me know so we can add those events to our pages and help promote them for you. I know that there is a wonderful joint effort being held for the 16th of December. We're having an interfaith walk for Reconciliation Day. All the details for that are posted on Facebook and Instagram, and we invite you all to walk with us. And dear friends, may God bless all of you as we approach this new year that we don't know what has in store for us. But again, we know we're on a journey. And to close, we're going to have prayers by Sister Kathy. And if Sheikh Salim is with us, he's also very welcome to share a closing prayer. Maybe Sheikh Salim, if you're there, you can go first. And if you don't come through, then Sister Kathy, you can just unmute yourself to share the closing prayer. Thank you.
The prayer I'm going to share is from Pope Francis's latest encyclical. Creator God, Father, Mother of our human family, you created all beings equal in dignity. Pour forth into our hearts a fraternal spirit and inspire in us a dream of renewed encounter, dialogue, justice, and peace. Move us to create healthier societies and a more dignified world. A world without hunger, poverty, violence, and war. May our hearts be open to all the peoples and nations of the earth. May we recognize the goodness and beauty that you have sown in each of us, and thus forge bonds of unity, common projects, and shared dreams. Knowing you are hearing us better than we are speaking, we offer you all our prayers, especially our prayers for the most vulnerable at this time. In all the holy names of God. Amen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of the most merciful, the most kind. O Allah, we come before you asking for your help and your aid. We commit all those who have passed on. We commit all those who are suffering in different hospitals and in different homes. We ask you to guide our medical personnel and grant them the wisdom as they deal with this epidemic. We ask you to unite our thoughts and to direct our actions. We ask you to grant our leadership the wisdom. We ask you to touch all those who are in need of your help. We ask you to embrace our fears and to grant us the commitment to hold each other during this time of need. We call on your mercy. We call on your beautiful names and your beautiful attributes. We thank you for every effort that is being made to help those that are in distress. We commit our leadership and we ask you to grant them the wisdom. We ask you to help them deal with the corruption and those who are corrupt in their midst, those who are stealing the little resources that needs to help those in need. Grant us all the wisdom to do whatever little we can in this time of need. Ilayka nashtaki ya Allah. Allahumma lakal hamdu ya hayy ya qayyum ya aziz ya arhamar rahimin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin.
Thank you, dear Sheikh Salim, for sharing. Dear friends, that is the end of our Desmond Tutu Peace Lecture. I would like to invite all of you, and especially those who are formal members of Religions for Peace, to stay with us for our AGM reports, which will go for another hour, if you are available. And if not, if I could just ask everybody, please, to put on your video for a second so we can just see everybody's face. And you can even unmute yourself and just give a small greeting so that we can just connect with each other and see the beautiful faces of South Africa that are all with us today. So you can maybe greet us in the way of your tradition. Salam, shalom.
Peace.
Peace be with you.
Alawapa. Thank you all so much for being with us today. It's really a blessing to see all of you.
Good morning. Alawapa, be well.
Okay, dear friends, thank you so much. We are now going to begin the AGM. So like I said, you're all welcome to stay. And very waiver data, you can take your videos off if needs be. And I'm just going to share the slide for the agenda for the AGM now. Can I ask us, Samin is assisting me with admin. My computer seems to be giving me a difficult moment. Can you please move on to the next slide, Samin June? And then you can share the agenda with everyone who is remaining with us. Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you. Okay, dear ones, so can everybody see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, great. All right, so as you can see, it says opening prayers, but we actually kind of married the closing prayers as the opening prayers for this next section. And we're going to just move on to the next item on the agenda.